It's gonna be a lot of fun. Let's get this done. Also, guys, leave a like on this video if you want me to challenge my brother.
I just started it.
He actually has a pretty decent squad. So if you guys want to see that, go ahead and leave a comment and then
oh my god.
on this video. It'll be a lot of fun. But the opponent has been found. Hopefully we get Joe Rouse because again, his group pick.
Don't care.
Starting pitcher and he does that. I think he wasn't thinking. But we're going up against the San Diego Melonheads. He has Henry Casimir, Manning Shadow, Armin Killebrew, Paul Leon, who's probably going to be upgraded as well, Michael Brownlee, Steve Henry, Kurt Suzuki, and Greg Garcia. He's got Miguel Almonte. Miguel Almonte? Is that weird?
And that is off the wall, but in foul territory.
So this dude doesn't have the best lineup, so that means he probably has a really good bullpen, and he has a cool emblem. And he's playing at Laughing Mountain. That they're pretty good at the game, but hopefully we can get the rally started with Eloy. All right, you guys know the first thing that you do is you get the bullpen going. So I'm going to do Jose Alvarez and Cruz is familiar with the first two guys, and then we're going to wait for him to go to the bullpen because he's smart too. All right, guys, here we go. He's going to throw fastball up. I knew it. Fastball up, power swing with Eloy Jimenez, and that is going to be a flyout. That'll be a cannon corner start. Hey, don't be doing that. I'm better than you at this game. I played this guy yesterday on 17 to 8.
Yes, it is. Why would I have the gold? Well, and yesterday I told you that I got him. I did March to October for 3 days to try and get him. Just common sense.
He still can't beat it out. Come on, Brooks. You're a little bit faster than that. Maybe not. Devin, Mazza.
I don't know.
Guys, this ball is about to be launched.
Veteran, I think.
I told you. I told you. That ball is absolutely destroyed. Devin, Mazza, Roscoe. I'm telling you guys. If you think Gary Sanchez is a glitch, this has been the best catching. I mean, that was really contact, so I think it was a lot of my skill too. But that card is just ridiculous.
And that one is gone.
Yeah, I'm telling you. There's something about MLB Show 19 where it's clicking with my brain. So hopefully we can go 12. If I just going to go 12 and 1, hopefully we can do it. Go for it. Get over his head. Well, guys, we did get the 2-0 lead. I wish that Wade Robinson would have gone base because that would have made it 3-0. But this dude actually has a pretty decent lineup. Kendrick Casimir is not too bad. This card is so much better than the last couple versions. I don't know, he's in center field.
How did he not hit that?
We'll see how that goes. Does he play center field? He doesn't play center field. So let's go ahead and move Jose. Oh, it's Jose Martinez. Never mind. I'm currently at a level 46 bronze. Where are you at? 49. So we're all kind of at the same. And then all of a sudden, this guy turns into an eagle. He has an eagle eye. He's not going to do anything outside the zone. Except down. And that's going to be a little split over to first base. There's 2 outs. 2 outs. Everyone play back. No doubles. See, the way that this works is if you are playing someone really bad and then all of a sudden they become really good, it's probably the younger brother giving the controller to the older brother. So like 9 out of 10 times that's what happens. If he gets the win, he calls me and I come play for him and I get the dub for him, right? That's how it goes, right? Split her down.
Just behind the fastball there, 2 strikes now.
He hits a home run right now on the side. If we throw the slider, I can guarantee you he's about to 1, 2, 3, done.
Chase. And he tracks it
That's 3
down.
outs. Get her back on the outs, man. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, right? Yeah, I have a pretty good fielding infield right now because I think it's Miguel Cabrera. Miguel Cabrera at first base, so I don't think he has the best fielding. But I'll be honest with you guys, that loses me a lot of games, the fielding. So I'm just glad that we're gonna have capable guys in the infield. And I look super white right now. I should have worn my hat. I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm about to hit this ding dong or a base hit. I'll take that. Oh, is he gonna miss that? Oh, we're going 2. We're going 2. I'm gonna lose in center field. I don't think he has a good arm. I'm not even with you. I'm gonna stay at 2. I'm gonna stay patient. Ducks and Pond, nobody out. Brandon Crawford against the lefty, which is not good, but I think he's gonna throw a fastball up. Or he's gonna throw that. I mean, he's still got underneath it a little bit good. I'm probably gonna move him over unless that's Josh Burke. I'm done. He got me. That's a nice relay. That's a nice relay. I did not think he was going to get me. Now we're going to go ahead and bring in, Matt Davidson. Matt Davidson. This guy has been a glitch for a couple years now. Hopefully I can get one barreled up and take it to the mountain. Just like that. Oh my gosh, it's not the mountain. But Dude, that's a bronze Matt Davidson. That was completely over the scoreboard. Are you kidding me? This dude might not make it to the third inning. Look at that. That was perfectly squared up. I told you I was going to do it. Oh, no! Yeah, you saw my PCI. My PCI just pulled down a little bit. That's been my issue since MLB The Show 17. I just dropped my PCI at the last second, but so far we have a 3-0 lead. I can pretty much guarantee if he doesn't score any runs in this inning, he's doing my quit. So let's go and bring in Jose Alvarez just because I don't want to waste sale. Bring him in the final inning. Yeah. Michael Brantley is a beast, and I'd have to agree. I'm really kind of upset that he's still not with the Indians. Dude, the Indians, they're in first place.
Pitcher cannot find anywhere to go.
It's because Jose Martinez is not a good outfielder, so they give him really bad reaction. That's probably going to be a triple.
What the frick? How do you not hit that?
I thought he was going to go back to second. It even tells me. I don't think I would have got him, but that's going to be a leadoff triple. With
next, the pitcher Miles
I'm
Michaelis.
going to get him up his fastball. Watch. Brooks.
Swing and miss that time. It's 0-1.
Are you serious? Are you serious? I'm not going to get him. Yeah, that's Diamond, Brooks Robinson.
It's a ball and a strike.
Ladies, gentlemen, and internet trolls too, welcome
This
back
is hit
to
high in
Fan
the air
Friday,
out
the show
toward
where I
left
give
center.
outsiders an
Center
inside
fielder
look
on
into
the
the mind
run.
of MLB All-Star.
He gets there
Have
and
you ever
makes the
wondered
play
how
for the second out
teammates
of the
stay in
inning.
contact during quarantine when we don't see each other every
Digging in
day?
for his
I've
second
answered a lot
at-bat,
more,
Jimmy
and then
Rollins.
right in.
0 for 1 for him here in this one. Ready to deliver here to first base. Breaking ball, just a bit low. Ball and a strike. From the windup, the 1-1 pitch.
How the frick do you not hit that?
This hitter right now
I did not pull down.
fastball. I think you go right back to it.
Swung on and missed. The final out of the inning.
Timeout. Your name is Holden Butts? Oh, hey! What's going on, guys? It's Fuzzy. Today we have another Battle Royale challenge. So in the latest episode of this whole series, we did the fastest overall draft. So if you guys take a look at my squad right here, we actually have a pretty decent team. One of my favorite cards to use in this game is this catching card. Devin Mesorasko. I don't know how to say his name. I get called out every single time, but I'm trying to say his name properly. Mesorasko. There we go. He's insane. I don't know what it is. I have 3 at-bats with him, 2 home runs, and it's been like this since last year. I don't Show 18. But today what we're going to be doing is we're going to do yet another challenge. Every time that I strike out, get out, anything that has to do with me getting out, I have to go ahead and change my PCI because a lot of people say that the outline is the best, or the reticle, or the buckshot, or no PCI. So we're going to try all of them at once, and I want you guys to let me know what challenge that we should do next. But if this is your first time on the channel, I want to say hello. Thank you so much for stopping by. Don't forget that subscribe button. But on the team, we have Tony Gwynn, Ronald Acuna Jr., Devin Mesorasko, Jose Altuve, Paul Maurer, Alberto Mondesi with the walk-off in the last game. But we do have Alberto Mondesi off the dish, and oh my gosh, is that a home run? Mondesi, that's the fastest guy on the team, is hitting a walk-off home run. He's a beast. I absolutely love him. Ryan Zimmerman. Starling Marte is unfortunately playing down if you take a look at his stats. Minus 13 against righty, so he's really not that good. But he has good speed, he has good fielding options, so we're going to keep him in the lineup. But jeez, he got kind of smacked today. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and start looking for a match. I have not played a chase for the fight for time, so I'm going to go this one. Hopefully we are the home team because there's something about the home.
Now with the play, Patel Marte will start things out here against Corey Kluber.
Since the creation of Reddit, fans have had the opportunity to discuss their own personal theories on films to no end with total reckless abandon. While some of them are totally outlandish, there are actually some that hold weight. We've curated a list of our 25 favorite Pixar theories that we believe might actually be true. Join us as we sift through the best of the best.
One of the better hitters on this team, not afraid to mix it.
Okay, let's start off with a big one. There's a theory that every single Pixar movie is interconnected. A conspiracy theorist named John Negroni wrote a book that explains that the timeline begins with Brave. There, animals begin to take on human characteristics when the queen turns into a bear. Over the course of time, animals interbreed and are able to speak. But then, surprise, surprise, humans take advantage of that ability and learn to harness their power like Charles Manson up. By the time we see Finding Nemo, animal intelligence has grown significantly, Finally, things take a turn in Cars when mankind has destroyed the planet so much that it is uninhabitable for them. And thanks to Wall-E, life on Earth begins again. In A Bug's Life, the ant Flick is a free-thinking keener who just wants to help out his colony. When one of his inventions backfires and ruins the harvest, he becomes a social pariah and is exiled. He is determined to right his wrong, and so decides to befriend some bigger bugs to stand up to the grasshoppers who each year take from him and his community. He believes that his new recruits will be the perfect candidates for a bug uprising. At first glance, you may not question this plot. Theorists, however, believe that the story is a metaphor for colonialism and speaks to the historical struggle of the oppressed. The grasshoppers represent the colonizers coming in and taking resources and exercising their military power on the minorities, the ants. Pixar's Up is truly one of the most devastating movies we've ever seen. It should come with a warning before that opening montage, because that first couple minutes of the movie are straight up scarring.
What the heck? How do you not catch that?
At the beginning of the film,
Look at that.
a woman tragically dies and leaves her husband heartbroken. The theory suggests
Fine.
that after
Now, okay, you gotta pay for it.
shortly
That's
after,
fair.
broken
You
heart,
gotta say
but
it's
the movie
fair.
is his adventure in the afterlife. We hope that if this is actually true, it means he will be reunited with his sweetie and that they'll be able to spend eternity together. In Finding Nemo, there's a theory that suggests that Nemo could be a figment of Marlin's imagination. After Marlin lost his wife and his children, he entered into a period of such intense distress that he went into denial about the whole thing and fabricated the idea of one of his sons surviving.
How many subs do you have?
We know to be a beautiful father-son tale could actually be one big metaphor for Marlin going through the
So you're like
stages.
30,000
When Nemo
away.
gets captured by the fishing boat, he experiences anger and will stop at nothing to get him back. The last step, acceptance, happens at the end of the film when Marlin is finally able to let Nemo have independence. In Toy Story 2, we meet the character Wheezy, a pitiful little penguin who is shelved due to his broken squeaker. When Woody discovers Wheezy gathering dust, he's lodged in between two books, embarrassed at his predicament. He tells Woody his woeful tale, that he tried to yell for help but no one could hear him, and then alerts the toys about the upcoming yard sale. One theory about this little sad sap is that he is secretly a villain. Fans suggest that after logging multiple hours alone on the shelf, he became jealous of Woody and the gang and used the yard sale as a way to get the other toys sold. With Woody out of the picture, Andy might give him more attention. If you recall, at the end of Monsters, Inc., Sully totally ghosts Boo and she's left questioning why her new blue friend has disappeared. A theory suggests that after this heartbreak, Boo decides to learn how to time travel so she can track down her pal. Because she's logged some hours in Monstropolis, Boo knows that the secret to jumping from place to place lies in the magical hanging doors. While traveling through time and space, Boo finally lands in the world of Brave, where she meets Merida. Because we can see a carving that looks very much like Sully in one of the scenes, we believe Boo is the witch and has spent all this time looking to reunite with her old friend. Another Monsters, Inc. theory is that Bing Bong from Inside Out was actually a monster who worked with Sully and Mike. At Monsters Incorporated, monsters are hired to be what is known as a scarer and are assigned multiple kids to haunt at night. Doors are activated and used as portals to their bedrooms so they can visit places all over the world. By the end of the Monsters, Inc. movie, Sully and Mike discover that kids aren't dangerous and toxic as they were taught, but
I fit 2 hormones this game with Christian Yelich.
Children's laughter is actually stronger than their screams. Fans believe Bing Bong was sent to Riley to collect her laughter energy, but Riley believed he was just an imaginary friend. In Toy Story 2, we meet Jessie, the fast-talking, feisty cowgirl doll who immediately won our hearts. Fans have reason to believe that Andy's mom was her previous owner. In the films, Andy is seen wearing a cowboy hat that matches Jessie's. Also, in Jessie's origin story, we see an image of her lying on a bed beside the very hat Andy wears. Coincidence? We think not. We also think that Emily gets her son to play with vintage toys from the Roundup gang because she's nostalgic for her past. We lost our minds when Jessie was dumped in a donation bin, and now we know who's behind the heartbreak. So it all adds up that Andy's mom is the true Toy Story villain. Case closed. In Cars, upon hearing Owen Wilson's voice and watching action-packed races, you were probably having too much fun to contemplate its deeper meaning. But one teeny-tiny detail that zooms past the average viewer is that there are no humans in this world. Given that these cars are clearly man-made, we can deduce that at some point humans were present to wipe down those windows and pump those tires. Fans have 2 theories that explains the eerie absence. One is that the cars decided humans no longer served them, so they turned against mankind and ran them all over, creating a particularly gruesome amount of roadkill. And the other very feasible explanation is that humankind was wiped out by their own pollution. Let's all make sure to be environmentally conscious so this theory doesn't turn into reality. There's a theory that suggests Andy's parents are going through a divorce in Toy Story. While we now know that Andy's mom is a toy abandoner, we don't know much about his dad. We never see him around, and he's not present in any family photos. We're thinking either she's always been a single mom and made the decision to have the kids on her own, or she took the photos down because she had a falling out with Andy's dad. If we look at the story, we can see that she's moving houses. This could be because the divorce was recent and she wants a new space for herself and her new life. On top of all that, she's never seen wearing a wedding ring. If you've seen Ratatouille, you'll remember that at the end of the film, the very snobby and very French food critic is moved.
Are you
It's
serious?
a sensational review and admits it reminds him of his mother's cooking. Fans
Dude, this Carlos Gonzalez rakes against me.
discovered something incredible. In the first scene of the movie, Rennie and his family are forced out of an old woman's house. In her kitchen, we see various objects, like a teapot, some jars, and stove handles. These exact same objects are in Ego's memories when he has a flashback.
Dude, this Carlos Gonzalez rakes against me.
That the old woman at the start of the movie is actually Ego's mother. That's why Rennie can cook the dish so perfectly. Mind blown. One interesting Reddit theory suggests that Frozen and Brave are linked. It says that the city of Arendelle was on the opposing side of the war that united the clans in Brave. They point out that Arendelle
Wait,
was
did you get the Carlos Gonzalez?
during the war and suggest that both the Duke of Wesselton and Elsa's father fought in it. If they were fighting at the same time, that would mean Elsa and Merida are around the same age and that they're living parallel lives. Some more evidence that they have is that when the Duke discovers Elsa's powers, he's not shocked, but rather afraid, as if he's seen this before. Perhaps because he's encountered the sorceress in Brave. This next theory is a bit of a downer. While the first theory we looked at suggested that there was hope for planet Earth, this one says that there is absolutely no chance for humankind to survive. In WALL-E, we get a glimpse into the 99th century, where environmental neglect has caused the Earth to be uninhabitable and humans have been evacuated. In this garbage-strewn wasteland, we meet Wally, a waste allocation load lifter whose job it is to clean up the mess. While the film was made famous for criticizing human environmental impact and consumerism, fans suggest that it was actually Wally himself that ended the Earth. They say that Wally actually dismantles the cleaning units, and with them out of commission, the Earth goes to ruin. To counter that, there's a way less heavy theory about Wally that will cheer you up. Remember in the film when he finds a little plant amongst the heap of human trash? Expert theorists have suggested that the very plant he finds ends up growing into the tree that sustains life for the colony of ants and a bug's life. This again ties back to the original theory we discussed that all Pixar films are related. At this point in the Pixar timeline, humans are no longer living on Earth. In Wall-E, they've left the planet, and this could be during the time where Earth has begun to rebuild itself and is finally harboring life again. Let's all agree that Randall Boggs from Monsters, Inc. is the scariest Pixar character out there. Though in Monsters, Inc. we meet him as an evil character who wants to capture children for the screams, in Monster University we get more of a backstory. Sporting sweet purple glasses, we meet a young Randall who is all freckles and timidness as a teen. It wasn't until he felt left out by Mike and Sully that he took a turn for the worse. After that, theorists believe that when Randall started working at Monsters, Inc., he was given Andy from Toy Story to scare. During the scene where Randall is practicing scare tactics, we can see proof of this as he's casting himself on the bedroom wall to look like Andy's wallpaper. We're not done with Monsters, Inc. quite yet. This theory will be looking at Randall's direct competition, James P. Sullivan, or as we know him, Sully. Sully is a gigantic blue and purple monster with a bewitching pair of periwinkle eyes. Though he looks soft to the touch, don't let it fool you. He has horns on his head, sharpened claws, and when he roars it can shake the ceiling. He's pretty much solely responsible for generating power for many neighborhoods in the city of Monstropolis. While in the films we see him excelling at life, there is a theory that it doesn't end so well for him. In the Pixar short Party Rex, there's a toilet seat cover that has the exact pattern of his skin. Chilling. Our next theory ties into the initial theory that we covered that says all Pixar films are connected. Apparently, the monsters from Monsters, Inc. evolved from primitive man. Once upon a time, humans and monsters lived in harmony, and no two monsters looked the same. They were unique, with everything from scales to fur, and they came in all colors of the rainbow. In the special features on the Monsters, Inc. DVD, it explains that monsters and men once lived side by side, but monsters were eventually driven away. They hid at an enchanted island where magical fruit gave them physical characteristics of the animals that ate them. Having evolved into unsightly creatures, they decided to head back to the humans and use scare tactics to feel superior. One particularly fun theory that we found states that Edna from The Incredibles was once a villain. For one, she seems pretty captivated by all things that have to do with danger and is mysteriously well-versed with weapons, lest we forget the flamethrowers. When we take a look at her character, right off the bat she's intimidating. Even her house is frightening and strangely well-guarded. What sealed the deal for us was how the theorist explained that Edna thinks like a villain. When she made the suit for Jack Jack, she knew he would be a target and could predict that he would need protection. An interview with Jay Ward, the creative director of Cars, gave us a little insight into where these beings came from and what secrets lie under the hood. Before being interviewed, fans concocted the theory that the characters in Cars have human parts, which sounds incredibly far-fetched. But when Ward was asked why the cars have doors, he replied, "You'll never see the doors open because the brains and the eyes are in there and we don't want anything falling out of the side." That quite literally is what nightmares are made of. And while we're happy we got to the bottom of this theory, we're mad we now have to live a life with that image forever burnt into our brains. You might notice that many details in Pixar films are familiar and yet somehow off. Take The Incredibles, for instance. Some of the garb looks familiar, but it's a mix of 60s style with New Age inventions. We believe that this world is existing in an alternate universe in which humans have created new technologies at a faster rate. But we have to go farther back than that. In The Good Dinosaur, we witness an asteroid about to hit our precious home. But in the movie, it misses Earth entirely and the dinosaurs are able changed and allows for new species to grow and come to be. When watching Inside Out, we left the theaters with our hearts a little fuller, and yes, let's be honest, tear-streaked faces. But there is one theory that suggests that the film is a little darker than we gave it credit for. Recall the moment when Riley goes into her mom's purse and is looking for her credit card. When you look closely, something doesn't add up. Riley's mother's name is Jill Anderson, but the card reads K. Ann Anderson, a totally different name. The film alludes to the family's financial issues when they moved to San Francisco. Could the move be because of their credit card fraud? We'll leave it to you to discuss in the comments. In the Pixar universe, memories are a very powerful way for characters to transport to different dimensions and explore deeper facets of themselves. In Inside Out, we see Riley's memories change and adapt with age, and she looks back on a previous chapter of her life. They take on new meaning, and she conjures up the memory of her playing hockey with her dad. While once associating it with joy, she now looks at it with sadness. In Coco, memories are the only thing that keep a spirit attached to the world of the living. If someone remembers a person that has passed, that person can return on the Day of the Dead. Coco learns what family means and is able to understand the power of memory, connecting the film to Inside Out in deeper ways than we could have ever imagined. In Pixar movies, we see that human emotions are integral to all storylines. Whether it's dealing with loss in Up or jealousy between Woody and Buzz in Toy Story, each film makes us question our humanity and empathize with the characters on screen. But more often than not, Pixar unpacks human emotion in a myriad of ways, suggesting that it is more powerful than even Mr. Incredible himself. In Inside Out, emotions are personified, and we get a closer look into the mind of a young girl named Riley and see what she's dealing with on a day-to-day basis. We see how her human emotions affect her interpersonal relationships and understand how her own energy is affected by them. So yeah, the theory is Pixar is our personal therapist, and the theory is proven to be true for many of us. One of the big life lessons in the world of The Incredibles is simple. No capes. Fashion icon Edna Mode explains the dangers of wearing a cape, and we get to see a particularly humorous montage of supers who meet their end because of his poor fashion choice. Among these supers is Stratigale, who gets sucked into the turbine on a jumbo jet. Later in the movie, we see that Stratigale was a high school student when her record flashes on screen. Theorists say that Edna was so devastated by this death that she could not forgive herself. It was only until Syndrome came to her for a costume that she was able to redeem herself. She made Syndrome an outfit with a cape, knowing that it would be his downfall. Last but certainly not least, we have the theory that the Pizza Planet truck from Toy Story connects multiple Pixar movies. It made its shining debut in Toy Story, and since then has been a favorite cameo in every Pixar movie since. In A Bug's Life, the truck was spotted outside the RV that is central in Bug City. In the movie Cars, the truck comes to life and is given a face. In the movie, the truck can be seen watching races. While those are the more obvious examples, in many films, the truck zooms by or is caught in traffic in the background. Next time you see a Pixar movie, we encourage you to keep your eyes peeled and wonder, how does this truck traverse through all these movies like some sort of interdimensional time machine? We hope you enjoyed our screen rant. Were there any theories that we missed? If so, let us know in the comments.
Probably a design take right there. They need base runners, so they're going to make them try to bring the ball to strike zone.
And welcome to game one!
The windup and the 0-2 pitch. And he struck him out. The 10th victim
fan, we love them either way. It's especially cool when we have to pause and look hard to see them, knowing they've been put there just for us. Today we're looking at some of the Easter eggs in Disney and Pixar films that we know they wanted us to see.
This one, watch it live. And that one
Wait, before we get started, make sure to click the red button to subscribe for more great movie content. Also, can you guess what movie this is from the emoji? Let us know in the comment section below and stay tuned to the end of the video for the answer. Finding Dory. Finding Nemo saw Nemo escape from the dentist's office via the pipes, which luckily had a very gross connection from the toilet to the ocean. The rest of the tank gang had an even less orthodox escape. They got out, sure, but they are stuck in plastic bags floating on top of the water. A year has rolled out between then and Finding Dory. At the end of the movie, the tank gang have managed to float themselves all the way from Sydney to California, still in their bags. As it's been a year, the bags are pretty gross, green, and covered in general ocean brine. Except one isn't. Jacques appears briefly and his bag is completely clean. He was the French shrimp who would religiously clean anything he could get in close range of. He kept the tank totally clean, so it should come as no surprise that he would give his little bag the same treatment. His need for clean paid off. The group do get rescued and freed from their bags from volunteers, and we imagine that Jacques was glad to have something else to clean, probably starting with his buddies.
Awfully tardy right now.
Lots of his look so similar.
Happens all the time.
Inside Out. If you're watching a Pixar film, you can bet there's a Pizza Planet truck hidden in there somewhere. Sometimes it's clear to see, and other times you have to look a bit harder. No matter what, though, it's there, sometimes even more than once. Inside Out falls into the times where it's a lot harder to find. The truck can be seen multiple times in the film, though. It can be spotted on the train of thought in Riley's brain. It can also be seen hidden within the memory orb. This particular version is a bit harder to spot, and it took some seriously eagle-eyed fans pausing it to find it this time. The memory orbs are used a few times to hide Easter eggs, including once where a playground looks a lot like one from Toy Story 3. Both memories are yellow, meaning they're good ones. This also supports the theory that Pizza Planet makes some seriously good pizza. Only good pizza gets yellow. This would also explain why Riley is so unimpressed by the broccoli pizza she gets when she first moves to San Francisco.
Congratulations, San Francisco. You've ruined pizza.
Seriously, people who thought pineapple was an abomination of pizza, we think we've got bigger pizza troubles to unite against. Well played, Pixar. Well played. Moana. Moana is chosen by the ocean.
Please stop owing to the mic.
From the destruction of Tikal by reuniting
Please stop.
with her heart. She employs the help of the reluctant
Keegan,
James
stop
Malley,
it.
whose very catchy musical
Stop
number.
blowing into the
If you say
mic.
that You're Welcome didn't just start playing in your head, you're probably lying. Before their quest gets fully underway, they have to retrieve Maui's magical hook, warranting a full quest all of its own. The hook gives them the power to do quite a few things, like turn into animals. When they do manage to get the hook back, Maui is a little rusty with it. It's been a while, like a millennium or so, since he last used the thing after all. He begins to transform into animal after animal. One of those is pretty familiar too. As he goes along, he turns himself into Sven, the clumsy but loyal reindeer from Frozen, which came out a few years before. He was a beloved character then, and it was great to see him in this little Easter egg in Moana. If the idea of getting a sneak peek at Sven wasn't enough for you to pause the film, the expression of Sven, Maui's face at that point, makes the whole thing worth it.
Let's go home and play.
Toy Story 3. In the first Toy Story film, we were introduced to Sid, an 11-year-old kid who already had sociopathic tendencies and lived next door to a much nicer Andy. He did normal kid stuff like terrorize his little sister and destroy toys by explosions, burning, and the like. It can be argued that he's not as evil as we're led to believe. To us and the toys in the movie, he's awful, torturing and killing them. You can argue that he didn't know that the toys were alive at the time, but a kid doing that regardless is still a pretty frightening thought. Towards the end of the film, the toys manage to terrify the evil out of him, and he swears to never torture a toy again. You know, now he's one of the few humans who actually know they're alive and all that. From there, we believe that that's that. We don't see him again. Except we do in Toy Story 3. As it happens, Sid is the garbage man who's seen singing along to metal music as he works, still wearing his signature black top with a white skull. So it's either him or the Punisher working a day job, but that doesn't quite sound right. Frozen. Thanks to all the events in Frozen that Hans had a hand in, we wanted to inflict violence on him, and clearly we weren't the only ones. When he gets to his feet, Anna steps in, punching him so hard that he falls backwards into the water. To applause. And it was a nice punch. Get that girl on the Arendelle boxing team.
Johnny Bench.
This is the best day of my life.
This isn't even the best part of the scene. If you pause it at the moment where her fist makes contact with his face, you can see that her hand has gone so far back that she must have broken every bone in his face. Her hand is literally in his eye socket. We can't stop pausing it right there. How do you feel about getting another cheeky little Han-shaped Easter egg while you're here? Hans actually appears a couple of times in Big Hero 6. He appears on a wanted poster on the wall of the police station and also as a statue. We don't know why he kept popping up, but we can only imagine he's a guy to pound not to hero. The Little Mermaid. There's a lot to talk about in terms of what people have found in The Little Mermaid. There was the whole thing about the shape of the castle and the minister's bulge that they swear is just a knee. Those aren't the ones that Disney
Dude, stop blowing into the mic.
Use this entry to check out the one that they put there for our viewing pleasure. Over the course of almost a century, Disney has put a lot of movies out, and it all started with a little mouse. And it's this mouse that we see in The Little Mermaid, and he brought some of his friends along. As Triton makes an entrance into a packed-out hall, we see that Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Goofy are on the guest list, and we like to imagine that their wives are off mingling. We do have one question, though. How are they breathing? We guess Disney really is magic. The three are some of the most iconic characters the company has ever created, so it was nice to see the gang back together at the party. It's always nice when Disney makes reference to their own characters. A Bug's Life. It surprises a lot of people to know that A Bug's Life is inspired by Seven Samurai, with Flick looking for warriors to rescue his home from evil grasshoppers. When Flick finds the circus bugs, he thinks they're the warrior bugs he's been looking for, and they go with them because they think he was a talent agent. Did anyone in this movie know who anyone else was? Yikes. This whole thing runs on mistaken identity. This paused moment doesn't, though. P.T. Please Circus travels via a wagon led by 2 millipedes. It's a cool nod to how traveling circuses got about way back in the day. But with horses, humans being pulled by millipedes would have taken too long. Not only that, but it also hides
Dude, stop it.
You can't do one circus without honoring
I'm gonna leave.
Wagons are made out of Casey Jr. cookie boxes made by a company called
You're like blowing into the mic, and I've asked you to stop so much.
Circus train. Jay Grant is Joe Grant, the co-writer of Dumbo. Grant made a lot of amazing contributions to Disney, so it's great to see his name pop up here.
For the last half of the inning, now to the plate, Christian Yelich. He singled his last time up. He jumps on this one. It's high and deep to center. See you later. Here's Buster Posey now. And he gets him to pop it up on the right side of the infield. Oh, and he misses it. Runner at first following the error. And here comes the first baseman, Willie Stargell.
And that last at-bat when he went deep, he turned around a pretty good fastball, so I'm kind of thinking this guy's...
Oh, and it eats him up a bit. And on the throw, pulls the first
frick?
baseman off the bag. And he'll
Why
reach
can't
it
you
first.
field the freaking ball?
Standing in, Javier Baez. He was a ground-out victim last time up. A swing and a ball to left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Long throw to third. And they'll get the man at third here at least, but in the interim, a run has come in to score. In now, Carlos Gonzalez. And now the runner's trying for third. And he turns on one, sending it high and deep to right. Yelich is back to the track as he takes it for out number 2. Baez is on his way home. But no, he'll put on the brakes and head back to third. And he fouls this one off. Ready with the 0-1 pitch. Weak grounder down the first baseline. Throw is in time, and they're able to avoid avoid the huge inning here if the side is retired.
His wife waiting, but an entire group of other supers. If you pause, you'll get to see a real treat. The attendees of the wedding are Edna Mode, fashion designer to the supers, Rick Dicker, who had settled them into normal lives, and the superheroes Gazer Beam, Dyna Guy, Strato Gale, Meta Man, Spendyhead, and of course Frozone. With the exception of Gazer Beam,
All set to start the ninth in this one. Striding in, Ronald Acuna. He struck out swinging in his last trip to the plate.
Yeah, and he didn't put up much of a fight either, Matty. Gotta find a way. Can't go down 3 pitches. I don't care if you're staring at him or swinging at him. You have to find a way to make this pitcher work a little bit harder.
Throw on to first for the out, and that is how the ninth inning gets underway. Into the box now, Todd Hilton. It was a flyout for him in his last trip. Now the pitch. Hit on the ground to short. On to first, and they're an out away. 2 gone here in the ninth. Stepping into the box, Torres. And he needs to make something happen. They're down to their final out here in the ninth. And this ball's in the air to left field, and this should do it. Yelich is under it, makes the catch, and that's the ball game.
Well, 2 all-star division teams on the field right now in this one. We knew we were going to see some pretty good baseball. In the end, these guys took care of business and got another win as they look to continue moving up the rankings.
8-4 the final this afternoon. The Fire used a nice 5th inning to take the lead, and they never gave it back. Corey Kluber gets the W on the mound. So that's it for us this afternoon. For Mark DeRosa, Dan Plesac, and our entire crew, I'm Matt Vasgersian. You've been watching MLB The Show. For more, log on to theshownation.com.
Here now is our final run score. Third for your victorious home team. 8 runs on 12 hits. No errors. No left side on base. For the visitors, 4 runs on 5 hits. 3 errors with 1 runner left on base. The winning pitcher is Corey Kluber. The loss was to Miles Michaelis. Time of the match, 3 hours and 32 minutes. Here this afternoon. Can we remind you to please drive home safely?
Avengers assemble.
Kylie Jenner to the foyer. I have a little surprise for you.
What? Oh, yes, right a minute, Mr. Postman.
Yeah. Oh yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Yeah. Oh, yeah, what you, oh.
Fake Night Part 2. And they were women. Fake Night Part 2. In my car, watch this. Look at Floyd. Why would you kill him like that? Matt.
Soldier Boy, really? Oh, I mean, good to watching. Oh, Soldier Boy, really? Oh, I mean, really, let me go.
It'll be Diamond Dynasty action this evening between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Express. Tommy Edman will get us started in this one under the lights. First pitch on its way. Wind up and the 0-1. Swinging strike, and now it's 0-2. Well, the rain's starting to intensify here. It's coming down a little heavier now. We'll see how much longer the umpires can wait.
Yeah, Matt, right now this doesn't look too good. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see the umpires come out and bring the ground crew out here. The infield around the mound and around the home plate area is really getting soaking wet. I can't anticipate this going on very much longer.
1 ball and 2 strikes to count. The 1-2. That's popped up. Rollins ranging into the outfield, and he tracks it down. Nice play for the first out. The next to bat for St. Louis, Tyler O'Neill. Swing and a miss on the sinker. 0-1. Pitch on the way.
You rarely see a pitcher of this quality throw one right down the middle, and man, as a hitter, probably a good chance you're not going to see that pitch again.
Popped straight up. Hoover is there, and he makes the catch for the second out. Now batting, Paul Goldschmidt. First chance for him here in the top of the first with nobody on. Here's the pitch.
Anyone see an Uncle Brown van out there?
Into the windup, here comes the 0-1. Liner toward right center. And Goldschmidt's aboard. It's a base hit. So Paul DeYoung digs in next. She'll go after the first pitch and bounce it into foul territory. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Really starting to pour now, and the forecast is not showing any signs of a break in the weather.
Total agreement, Matt, in particular that pitcher's mound. And, you know, one of the things you have to really be careful, not just for the position players, but that mound gets awfully slippery and awfully wet when it becomes moist like it is right now. So the umpire...
Well, the play's been made, and that retires the side. Now in the box, Jimmy Rollins. He'll lead things off here in the bottom half of the first. Here's the pitch. Grounded up the first baseline. This gets foul. It's 0-1. Now here's the pitch. Fouled off. Now the pitch. Fouled away. The next note. There's a swing swing and a drive hit well out to right field. And this ball is gone. No chance to make a play on that one. Into the box, Ketel Marte. He swings and grounds it to short. DeYoung's got it on the first, so a good bounce back pitch there as he gets the ground ball for the first out. So the base is empty here with one away, and that'll bring up the always dangerous Ronald Acuna Jr. Right through it here, and he's behind 0-1.
One thing I'm going to keep my eye on with this young starter on the mound is how he's able to stay ahead of hitters. It makes pitching at this level a lot easier. And when you're trying to establish yourself in the big leagues, you're going to have a much better time doing that if you attack hitters from the get-go.
Swung on, and he went fishing in the dirt. And the throw to first is there to record the second out. Digging in, Todd Helton, looking to get on base and keep this first inning alive. Now here it comes. Breaking ball that's cut on and missed for the first strike. And boy, they're really giving him fits inside now as he can't get extended there, and it's 0-2 now. Early swing there as he pulls it foul to the right side. In the air, down the line and left. And no one will track it down. Swung on in the dirt for the third strike. Molina gathers, and the throw to first ends the inning. Digging in now will be Matt Carpenter.
Leading off for the Cards, the third baseman, number 13, Matt.
I can move
Here
it.
comes the
It's
first
going down.
pitch.
It's going with that now.
Wind up and the 0-1.
Is anybody even watching this? If someone's watching this, press say something in the comments. Is anybody even watching this? If someone's watching this, press say something in the comments.
Sinker on the inside, and that's a strike.
Hey, it looks like this guy's going to work in the upper part of the strike zone. It'll be interesting to see if this lineup can adjust to the way he pitches.
And a good sinker there gets him swinging for the first out. Stepping in, Yadier Molina as he'll get his first opportunity in this one.
If someone's watching this, say hello in the comments.
Strike one to start the at-bat. Bases are empty, one man out. And he misses here with a slurve, even at 1-1. Swing and a liner. Foul. And he looks at a sinker for a called third strike, and now there are two gone. Stepping in, Colton Wong. First 2 men in the inning have both gone down via the punch-out, so we'll see if he can fare any better. And that'll get by into center field for a base hit. Oh, but the feet of the second baseman is a wild one.
Going in for the Braves and Baltimore on breaking action.